Well, the Fox News at Night Common Sense Department thinks the Democratic Party must believe that democracy and hypocrisy are one and the same. Because suddenly the very people who made the Democratic Party toxic, cringy, and problematic are now calling the Democratic Party toxic, cringy, and problematic. For the record, the toxic comment belongs to California Governor Gavin Newsom. Cringy came from former White House press secretary and current MSNBC something or other Jen Psaki, and Senator Michael Bennet was the purveyor of problematic. In other words, now that Democrats' approval rating is tanking at 25%, they're turning on each other. But at least the comedian, podcaster, pot smoker Bill Maher had the temerity to push back on Gavin Newsom, saying that Newsom was a poster boy for the Democrats' so-called toxic atmosphere. And now Maher is violating his own hypocritic oath by agreeing to dine with President Trump, a man he recently said would never leave office. Then again, dinner with a dictator might be delightful. Of course, the winner in all of these two-faced tactics will be Donald Trump, who acknowledges that no matter how good the meal, Maher will always criticize him. But common sense thinks it won't matter because the country has caught on, and the more Democrats hate, the lower they rate. Let's bring in former LA GOP Vice Chair and Daily Wire actor Siaka Massaquoi, along with Parler brand voice Deborah Leah. Thank you both for coming on. So Bill Maher said this about the Trump meeting, Siaka, and I'll get your take on the other side. Watch.
It's kind of a Nixon to China thing. I'm impressed by it a lot. I'm impressed the out of it. I get to go to the White House, and yes, that is the structure of this dinner, is just let's talk. Let's talk to each other face to face. Let's not stop shouting from 3,000 miles away.
But you know, and I know, Siaka, that as soon as he gets 3,000 miles away, he's going to start shouting and talking negatively about the president all over again.
Exactly. You know, I mean, hey, I do give a little bit of credit of him jumping ahead of the woke train and the trans stuff of chopping kids up. But remember, this is the same guy that begged for the economy to be shut down so he can get Trump out of office. This is also the same guy that, even though he sees and lives in what's going on in Los Angeles and in California, he said, well, but Trump is worse. So this guy, I actually hope and pray that when he goes there, he can get a little bit of a prescription for his TDS so he can just stop and see, hey, it's not as bad as you think it is, Bill. It's okay. It's okay.
Meantime, you have California Governor Gavin Newsom calling out Democrats, and then Bill Maher calling out Gavin Newsom. Watch, Deborah.
Democrats, we tend to be a little more judgmental than we should be. This notion of cancel culture, you've been living it. You've been on the receiving end of it for years and years and years. That's real. And Democrats need to own up to that. They've got to mature about this.
So what do you say to people who say, well, this sounds all very good, but Governor, you were the poster boy for a lot of this stuff?
Yeah, I mean, let's face it, Deborah, Gavin Newsom was the originator of all this toxic stuff.
Absolutely. Like when he vetoed the bill in 2022 that would have banned critical race theory from being taught in K-12 schools in California. He's acknowledging that the Democratic Party is toxic, but I disagree. I don't think it's the Democratic Party. I think it's Democratic ideologies and policies that are toxic to American life. Critical race theory, teaching kindergartners that they're racist and that they're born racist, sanctuary cities, treating parents like criminals and treating criminals like heroes. It's absolutely toxic to the American way of life. And I think that this is just a way for him to rebrand and try and gear up for his presidential run. I think Bill Maher may be gearing up for a presidential run too, because why else would you spend your entire career attacking Republicans and then reach across the aisle? But we need to give credit where credit is due, and that is due to Donald Trump, who the left tells us is the reason for the divide in this country. But he'll sit with anyone.
Fair enough. Meantime, Siaka, you said this on X about the Tesla vandals and attackers. Play this for me. Watch.
Well, the irony's not lost on me, but you know who else used to do the exact same thing? Nazis. Nazis used to vandalize private property and paint the words Nazi and swastikas all over people's businesses that didn't get along with the program.
The responses you got, Siaka, here they are. Far-right thugs are attempting to gaslight the world for their own crimes. Can't wait until we start hunting the fascist supporters like we did after World War II. How much do they pay you for this ad? Uncle Tom has come to fruition. Congrats, bro. And lastly, they need to vandalize you, radical black, right? Sick of your kind. You surprised at all, Siaka?
You know, I'm not actually. This has been a script that not only have I heard when I was on the other side of the fence, but I've heard definitely on this side of the fence. And it just goes to show, one, they don't read because Uncle Tom was the hero of that story, but that's beside the point. And two, these people are just, it's wild to me. These people were the ones that I grew up anti-war, not for war. These people are the ones that were like, hey, we want to save the environment, go green no matter what. Now they're literally burning these batteries that can't even get put out by natural water. So they're making it worse. Yeah. It tells me at the end of the day, this is what happens when you have a man as your leader, your God, or a party, and not Jesus Christ, because they're following the whims of the Democratic Party right now, and they're leading them down the road. Some 30-year-old just punched a 61-year-old woman just for driving a car.
Right. What
is going on? Like she said, everything that's going on with these guys, it is a detriment to America right now.
And I want to get your take on that too, Deborah. Lastly here, I've got about 35 seconds for you. What is going on? It's a very good question.
I mean, I couldn't agree more about the left taking a break from saluting Heil Hitler to say that Elon Musk and all Tesla dealerships are filled with Nazis, but they're really hurting the American people, and it's just proof that they don't care about average Americans, they don't care about the working class, they don't care about who they hurt, all they know is violence. We saw this with BLM protests, we're seeing it again. The violence must stop, and every Democratic leader must call for the violence to stop now. It has gone on too far, and violence is never the answer. I thought that was something we all agreed on as Americans, but apparently the Democrats don't.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very valid answer. We appreciate it. Siaka, Deborah, thank you both. Back with the Nightcap crew, Rich Edson, Jeff Paul, Caroline Sunshine, Christina Pascucci, Siaka Massaquoi, and Julian Epstein. Tonight's topic, keep your friends close. Bill Maher made a living off criticizing Trump, yet the president still inviting him to the White House. Good strategy, bad strategy. Julian, your thoughts?
Not going to lie, I'm a huge Bill Maher fan. In fact, if I were funnier, I would be Bill Maher. You know, what I think most people don't understand is these two gentlemen have a lot in common. They both call things exactly as they see them. And people like that, gentlemen like that, tend to be open to one another.
Yeah. Siaka.
Yeah, you know, I love what Trump does. He'll sit down with these people, bring him into the fold a little bit. His personality is going to just cool Bill Maher off a little bit. I like it.
Yeah. Jeff Paul.
You know, we talk so much about people not communicating, you know, when they don't agree on something. And this is a perfect example of two people who don't agree about a lot, but on some stuff getting together. And I hope it's televised.
Yeah, right. Wouldn't that be kind of fun, the dinner? Caroline.
Oh, I only wish that the White House live streamed and broadcast it.
Yeah, right?
I think it would have gotten millions of views. I think Bill Maher knows that he has a lot of independents and disaffected Democrats in his audience that voted for President Trump. So I think it was smart of Trump to extend the invite, smart of Maher to accept, and it would have been made for TV.
Yeah. Christina.
You know, they might agree on more than they realize when they sit down. It'll be really interesting to hear what comes out of it. But also, Governor Newsom here in California, he's been doing the podcast where he's been speaking to people who have wildly different views. And everyone, look at your face. You're like, why did you have to bring up that guy?
No, I think it's exactly right.
About it.
Yeah.
So.
David said a resounding yes. I can't wait to see what happens when Maher and a master of humor meets with Trump. Mary, keep your friends close and your enemies closer. Sam's mom, I personally think it's a boss move. They'll probably never agree on much, but the fact that they're open to talking shows the kids how two disagreeing adults should engage with each other. And Chrissy says, if Trump can talk to Putin, he can certainly talk to Maher. Marud says, absolutely, we're never going to move forward unless people from opposing parties start actually talking to each other. Rich Edson, I forgot you.
You know what? Just like Jeff said, mic them up, put them on camera. They're both entertainers. Maybe Bill leaves with a job offer. Who knows?
Yeah, Kate says, I think it's a strength to keep your options open when people can change their minds. Thank you for watching America's Late News.